Good morning. My name is Safi Ali.
My name is Shahir Ali.
My name is Matthew Wynn.
My name is Victoria Vasquez.
And my name is Rohan Mansoor. Our presentation will be on the effect of socioeconomic status on AP course ability and scores. Our research question is, in the 21st century, to what extent does socioeconomic status, or SES, have a negative impact on the AP advanced placement, or AP course availability and AP scores of Florida students? Our arguments will discuss SES in three categories: economic factors, race and ethnicity factors, and gender factors. We also discuss solutions from schools and the College Board towards the problems lying within these categories.
Thank you, Rohan. As Rohan mentioned, one of the factors of SES is lower income. Students in a family with lower income will have houses in lower economic regions which are usually lesser priced, which will also have lower property taxes. This is relevant since the Florida Department of Education states that schools in Florida are funded through property taxes, which effectively means that lower income means lesser priced houses, which means lesser property taxes and eventually less funding for schools. This graph from the University of New Hampshire shows that historically this problem has existed all the way back to the 1960s, continuing on to the 2010s, where the income gap between the most poor and the least poor have been rapidly growing, which shows that property tax funding is a problem since the schools in higher economic regions will have higher qualities of schooling, while those in lower will remain low. This graph from the University of New Hampshire shows a gap in fourth grade reading scores between low income and high income students. What this illustrates is that students of a lower income will do worse on fourth grade reading scores than that of a higher income due to property tax funding. Moreover, if students cannot master fourth grade, how do we expect them to comprehend college level material on AP exams? This final graph from the University of New Hampshire shows availability in AP courses by most poor and least poor. Even though the state of Florida pays for AP exams, there's still a significant gap between the most poor and least poor by roughly 10%. This is most likely to schools lacking funding in affording AP classes.
Thank you, Safi. As Safi stated, level of income affects a student's performance on AP exam. There is a correlation between certain race and ethnicity with level of income. These next two graphs from Paul Doso from Inlace, Florida, a program focusing on college readiness. In this first graph, you can see how certain race and ethnicities tend to perform better. Take, for example, white students from 2000 to 2006. There has been an upward trend in students passing the exam. Take, for example, black students from 2000 to 2006. Passing AP exams has been consistent. In this next graph, also from Paul Doso, although Florida has a higher minority population, this does not necessarily mean they pass the exam. Take, for example, Jones High School, where 10% of the students, 100% of the students make up the minority, while only 10% take the exam.
Thank you, Victoria. So students who are of higher socioeconomic status generally have more education about the program, indicating a disadvantage for those students of lower socioeconomic status. In a research journal describing the unequal participation in the AP program, the researcher Kaluri states that young men of color were reluctant to participate in AP courses, assumed AP classes would be a needless waste of time and effort. This direct quotation from the research journal indicates that people of color are hesitant to participate in AP courses because they do not have the proper information to make a conclusive decision on the benefits of the AP program. Moreover, students who are of higher socioeconomic status typically have more education or more resources to prepare for the AP exam because they can afford some of the expensive materials required to pass them. In a College Board raw data report compiled based on the 2019 results, it shows that in Florida, it shows that whites take AP exams more than any other race. In this graph here, as we can see, whites take AP exams more than Asians, blacks, and Hispanics. As the general trend in Florida is that whites are typically of higher socioeconomic status, it can be said that students of higher SES have an advantage in the AP program, while students of lower SES have a disadvantage.
Thank you, Shahir. Relating to what Rohan and Shahir said, gender is a part of SES. Gender affects the participation of AP exams and the scores on different parts of AP exams. As you can see here in this graph, that there's a significant participation difference between males and females in both 2001 and 2019. This shows that there is a current trend in the 21st century varying from different genders in participation. These tables in this quote from APS Physics and the International Journal of Educational Research says that this is consistent with research that suggests gender is often a stronger predictor of academic outcomes related to STEM career pathways than ethnicity. These tables show that there's a significant performance difference between genders in AP Calculus AB and BC, and the passing rate of a 3 or higher is over a 1,000 student difference. And how gender affects the different formats of AP exams. This quote from ProQuest says that an analysis of variance and covariance, however, did reveal a statistically significant reader gender difference on the second and third free response items, with male readers awarding on average higher ratings than females on both items. If males perform better than females on free response items, then there is a performance difference from the different formats of the exam.
As we have all discussed, there are evident issues within these categories of SES, but there are solutions to these issues, such as hiring more qualified skilled teachers to teach these students of lower SES, and using existing solutions that we can advance further to improve their impact, such as College Board's AP exam fee reductions. We can advance that, and government funding for AP. But all these solutions come with their limitations, with their drawbacks, with these skilled teachers not being high enough in frequency. There may not be enough of them to teach these students, and even then, they alone may not be able to remedy this issue. And on top of that, the existing solutions, even though they're still being used, in the current state they are still insufficient in solving these issues, most likely due to fund mismanagement towards the wrong areas of allocation. And also, even further, the state of Florida already pays for AP exams, and we still see these issues, which shows that this is a much persistent continuity. These are our sources, and thank you.
Take like one step forward and then come together. That's like 4 steps forward. Back up just a little bit. Thank you. All right, that's good, that's good. All right, I'm literally just gonna go left to right, or your right to left with questions, okay? Let me pull out questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right. You ready? See how nervous you are. Oh, sorry, you were done in time, don't worry about it. Having finished your project, what, if anything, would you consider to be a gap in your team's research that, if you addressed it, would make you feel better about your conclusion? Or solution, I guess.
Really, the security and credibility of some of the sources. Most of the sources were credible, but some were.
How am I reading this? Oh, there it is. Sorry, total me. All right, next up. Oh, you didn't see it there. Okay. In what way did you improve your ability to work with a group as a result of this project?
I improved my ability to work with my group as it allowed me to become more open-minded to the different ideas. And when it came to solutions, I really had to change my mindset on what I thought about a research question.
Okay. Ron, reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem your group identified?
My understanding was probably most affected by Safi's findings, where he showed a direct perspective into how SES really affects the subject matter. He directly talked about the issues that were very blatant and gave really good evidence that seemed compelling to me.
All right, thank you. Let's see where we are. Okay, here we are. In the future, what change would you make to your group norms, and how would you expect that to improve your team's presentation?
So a change we'd make to our group norms would most likely be to get things finished earlier. A lot of the times we were doing stuff a little bit last minute. I feel that we could have taken advantage of the time a little bit earlier to maybe improve the presentation and get it a little bit more smoother. But overall, I think it went well.
All right, and Saf, last question. Describe how the content of your team presentation changed as a result of your discussions.
So as a result of our group discussions, we realized that Rohan and Victoria's perspectives from their individual research reports were not necessarily needed in our presentation, since they were more like logistical and solution-based arguments. So we added in a new argument and kept in mind Shahir and Matthew's perspectives.